Hello children and welcome to today's session. I hope you remember the chapter on living and non-living things. उस chapter में हमने क्या पढ़ा था? हमने पढ़ा था कि living beings can move from one place to another. All living beings, human beings, animals, birds, all of them move from one place to another. But we walk, animals also walk. How do birds move? We all have seen birds flying at all times. Now, birds are very, very special animals. They are able to fly high up in the sky. They're even able to walk on the grounds. They're able to perch on branches. They can even sit on the walls of your house. How are the birds able to do so many things when we as human beings can only walk? This is what we are going to learn in the chapter today, which is birds. We are going to learn about the different parts of a bird that helps us to do different kinds of things. Let us take an example and the picture. In this picture, we have to label the different parts of the bird. As we can see, these beautiful wings are the organ that helps the bird to fly. It has got big eyes. These eyes help it to look here and there and stay alert at all times. Different birds have got different beaks. इसीलिए उनकी eating habits भी different होती है. Just like the eating habits of different animals. Different birds have got different claws. Some birds like to perch on high trees. Some birds like to perch on our balconies. So for this reason, they have got different claws. So overall, in this chapter, we are going to learn about beaks. We are going to learn about types of birds with feet and their different claws. We are going to learn about how the birds fly. We are going to learn about feathers and houses of various birds. बर्ड के डिफरेंट पार्ट्स में से सबसे पहले बात करते हैं बीक्स की. A beak is different for different birds depending upon their eating habits. But remember, all the birds have got very, very strong beaks. This is because beak is the main feeding organ. Let us understand about different types of beaks in birds with this video. So the first example that we are going to take is of a pigeon and a sparrow. They have got short, hard beaks to cut into nuts and grains. Then we come to praying birds. Praying birds are birds like eagles and vultures that feed on the flesh of dead, decaying animals. As you can see, the beak is pointed and curved so that it can tear the flesh very comfortably. The next example that we are going to take in beaks is that of parrot. A parrot feeds on fruits and hard nuts. That is the reason a parrot has got a very strong and curved beak that acts like a hook. Let us see the beak in woodpecker and hoopoe. A woodpecker and hoopoe drill holes in the trees because of which their beak is very sharp and pointed. Let us now understand the beak in birds like ducks and swans which live in water. These birds have got long beaks and they have holes on both the sides. Holes का क्या काम है? ये birds अपना खाना ढूंढने के लिए पानी के अंदर से एक साथ मिट्टी और पानी और फूड इकट्ठा ऊपर लेते हैं. इनके माउथ में जो होल्स होते हैं उससे मिट्टी एंड अनवांटेड थिंग्स आर फिल्टर्ड आउट और मुंह के अंदर सिर्फ खाना बचता है. So this is the advantage of having holes all along their beak. Let us now understand the kind of beak in hummingbird. A hummingbird feeds on nectar from the flowers. It has got a very slim and pointed beak that acts like a straw to pull out the juice from the various flowers. We have learnt about so many different kinds of beaks depending on the food habits of these birds. Now let us understand the different kinds of claws. This is again dependent on the food habits of different birds. We will see this in this short video. As we can see, the birds like pigeons, sparrows, chicks, crows, they are called perching birds. This is because these birds hold on to the branches of the trees very tightly so that they do not fall off. These birds take short flights and they like to wait on the tree branches. Next we come to preying birds, birds that feed on flesh of different animals. These birds have got very sharp claws. The reason for sharp claws, which are also known as talons, is so that they can tear the flesh using their feet as well as their beaks. There are birds like hens, chicken and rooster, which scratch the ground with the help of their strong claws to dig out insects, because they feed on these insects and their claws are arranged accordingly. So children, we have learnt about the different kinds of beaks in birds. We have learnt about the different kinds of claws in the birds. Now let us understand about how the birds fly. The birds fly because they have got a few adaptive characteristics. The first one being that they have got a streamlined body. Yes, just like the fish and the aeroplane, their body is narrow both in the starting and the ending, and it is broader in the center. So streamlined body is the first characteristic of birds that helps them to fly. The second characteristic is hollow bones. Hollow bones make the bird's body very light. It is able to fly high in the sky. The third important feature is that they have got very strong flight muscles. Flight muscles are the muscles that helps the wings to go up and down when the bird is flying. These muscles are very strong. Now, how exactly does a bird fly? There are two strokes जिसकी वजह से bird fly कर पाता है. एक stroke को बोलते हैं upstroke. Upstroke is when the bird's wings are facing upwards, and the second stroke is called downstroke. Downstroke is when the bird's wings are facing downwards. It is the continuous upstroke and downstroke movement that helps the bird to fly. Also, there are three kinds of feathers in the birds that are very important and help the bird to fly. The first type are called the down feathers. These feathers are soft and fluffy and they help to keep the bird warm. The second kind of feathers are body feathers. They give shape to the bird. And the third feathers are flight feathers. And yes, as the name suggests, they are the feathers that help the bird to fly. Let us now understand about the house of birds. Bird के house को क्या कहते हैं? Bird के house को बोलते हैं nest. Birds के nest कहाँ देखे हैं आपने? हम birds के nest देख सकते हैं trees के ऊपर, high rise buildings के ऊपर. हम birds के nest और कहाँ देख सकते हैं? Ventilators के ऊपर. हम चिमनीज में भी बर्ड्स के नेस्ट देखते हैं. बर्ड्स अपने नेस्ट इतनी ऊपर क्यों बनाते हैं? सो दैट व्हेन दे ले एग्स इन द नेस्ट, enemy birds or human beings or other animals do not harm their eggs. Now, what are the materials that the bird uses to make the nest? They are leaves, straws, twigs, wool, cotton and thread. सारा दिन बर्ड्स एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाके ये सारा मटेरियल इकट्ठा करते हैं और उनसे बनाते हैं नेस्ट. In the junior classes, you have learned that there is only one kind of nest. But today, we are going to learn about different kinds of bird nest. Weaver bird का जो nest होता है, वो नीचे से tube-like entry होती है. इसके अंदर से bird enter करता है. It is broad at the center, and here is where the eggs are laid and the young ones are taken care of. This is a stick nest, which we most commonly see in cases of pigeons, crows, and sparrows. This is a tailor bird's nest. A tailor bird stitches two leaves together and fills it with soft material like straw and cotton, in which it lays its eggs. है ना creative बात? So, we see that it is not only human beings who are very creative, even the birds are very creative. And last, let's read about the penguin's nest. A penguin uses a pile of rocks to lay its eggs on. It is not always कि जहाँ पे birds रहते हैं वहाँ पे आसपास की conditions of temperature and food are favorable. Sometimes it gets very cold, at other times it gets very hot. ऐसे टाइम पे बर्ड्स उस जगह को छोड़कर बहुत लॉन्ग डिस्टेंसेस फ्लाई करके जाते हैं. इस प्रोसेस को बोलते हैं माइग्रेशन. एक जगह से दूसरी जगह वार्मर टेम्परेचर्स के लिए या कूलर टेम्परेचर्स के लिए एंड फॉर सफिशिएंट फूड द बर्ड्स ट्रैवल, और उस जगह पे जाके they make their nests, and when their little ones come out they fly back to their original homes. Birds take very good care of their young ones. Once the bird lays its egg, वो egg के ऊपर बैठकर उसको warm रखते हैं for about 15 to 21 days. इसकी वजह से the embryo inside the egg begins to develop into a chick, और जब वो चिक फुली डेवलप हो जाता है वो एग शेल तोड़ के बाहर निकल आता है. When a newly born chick comes out of the egg, the eyes, the feathers are not well developed. इसकी वजह से the mother bird and the father bird have to feed their chicks. It takes some time for the chicks to learn to fly. So children, in this chapter on birds, we have learned so many new things about the birds. We have learned how birds fly. We have learned how different birds have got different beaks and different claws. We have also learned about the creative ways in which the birds make their nest and they take care of their young ones. Thank you.